All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving right along to example 3. This is where it gets fun. This is where we kind of take the idea of, okay, what happened in this survey or the experimental probability to move it into theoretical. What would we expect from all seniors? So let's say this school had 1,200 seniors. Let's say it's about the size of a union. It had about 1,200 to 1,400 seniors. But only, if we go back, only originally did we have, I'm trying to remember, what was it, 114 actually responded. Out of the 1,200, we could use that data to make an estimate on how many of the 1,200 to 1,400 should show up. And that's where this comes in. So by taking the marginal relative frequency and using also the joint relative frequency and how they compare, again through division, we actually will be able to turn this from experimental into expectation, which is more theoretical. So we can take the 0.191 we found before, the 19.1% of the juniors who said they were going to attend that did respond, and we can compare that to the total amount of people who were juniors that responded at all. And when we do that, we find that it's about 0.396 or 39.6%. What that 39.6% tells us is we would expect 39.6% of the entire junior class to show up based on the results of 106 of them that responded. So we do this again for how many we expect not to show up. We take the 0.291 and the 0.482. When we use the division and we turn this into basically our expectation, or turn it into our theoretical problem, we expect 60.4% of our juniors to not attend the concert. So we do the same thing for seniors. We take 0.35, which was the relative frequency, and we divide it by 0.518, which was the marginal frequency, and we get 0.676. And that means that 67.6% of all seniors we could expect to show up for the concert, because there were 77 that said that they would. Now 0.168 divided by 0.518, again, this is the marginal and the relative. Comparing those, we get a 32.4% of the population expected of seniors to not attend. So again, this part right here, finding the conditional relative frequencies, says that we are going to take the experimental data that we got and use it to predict the outcome for the entire population. Well, that's theoretical probability. So we can take experimental, a small group that actually took the survey and responded, to be able to predict, probably within a good error, how many people will show up for the concert, as long as we aren't asking the entire population to begin with. And again, the definition of experimental probability is we're not going to ask the entire population, we're asking a small group. So that is how we can use experimental data to still predict a result, which is part of theoretical probability. In other words, doing this comparison of marginal frequencies and conditional frequency, joint frequencies, marginal frequencies with conditional relative frequency is what helps translate the results of an experiment into expectation of future.